years here as a direct software sales account executive, working with clients to help them evaluate new solutions. For the past 12 years, I've been representing the Microsoft Dynamics product line, and I've been with Pleasant Valley Business Solutions working with the government contractor community for the past 6 years. So I'm excited to work with you, and when I'm not working, I really enjoy time with my family and boating here on the beautiful Chesapeake Bay. So a little background, a little information about the market that we spend and we concentrate on serving is the government contractor market. We're a little bit unique as a Microsoft business partner in that our focus is 100% concentrated on serving those firms that serve the federal government and are a government contractor here. Some of the clients that we work with, you'll see them here, but we've got about 160 to 170 clients spread throughout the country. And as I mentioned, about 10 years working with them. And our clients are typically, can range anywhere from 50 employees up to thousands of employees. So it's a very scalable application that we work with. And our clients can be a combination of pure government contracting. They can have a commercial side to their business as well. These can be companies that can be a product distributor or provide contract manufacturing services to the government contract community. So we really meet the needs of a lot of organizations that are in the government contract space. So with me today presenting the software is Paul Skurpski, and I'll introduce Paul here.
Yeah, well, thanks, Mark. So, and thanks for finding a picture of me that makes me look thin. I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem.
But so I've been working in the government contract industry, I guess, for about the last 10 or 11 years, and I've been working in systems for over 20 years now. So really spent the majority of my career helping mid-market companies not only go through the evaluation process, but way back in the day, when my hair was brown and there was more of it, I really focused on helping on the internal side. So I worked for a large smart card company, and we did smart cards for both the U.S. federal government plus foreign markets, and that's what I did as I managed systems for them. And I've had the good fortune of working with Mark, I guess, for about the last 7 years and known him for almost 10. And I'll have to say that in the Mid-Atlantic, he's always been the star in terms of, from a Microsoft partner perspective, really one of the best sales people for Microsoft in the Mid-Atlantic. So both with us and then with other Microsoft partners that we've worked with before. So I think everybody that gets the opportunity to work with Mark has always been extremely satisfied and fortunate for the experience, and we're excited to have him with us. So what we're planning to do today is just a little introduction to what we do. So it's just going to be about 25 minutes, and really the idea is to give you an idea of what we're doing with Microsoft in the marketplace. So we've had a lot of success in the last 10 years, and especially the last 4 or 5, we've seen a lot of growth. And companies that are excited to move to the Microsoft Dynamics NAV solution, and they've moved from every system from QuickBooks and Peachtree to Deltek GCS Premier, CostPoint, Jamis, etc. So we've had a lot of migrations, and I think we've got a lot of great feedback from clients on really why this is different than anything they've used in the past. And today my job is to just give you a little tip of the iceberg of what we do. And at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we have planned over the next few months. So the idea that we have today is I'm going to give you a general overview. We're going to cover everything from the financial management side of the system, and that's what I'm showing right now is the home page of the application. So it has, it's a full enterprise system, so everything from managing the contract side through resource management. Mark mentioned the fact that we work with companies that provide professional services, also could be product distributors or contract manufacturers for the federal government. So really a wide variety of solutions that we can support. What you're looking at is the core financial management system. And I'm logged in to the system, and it's got this idea of a role-tailored client. So the idea is, based on my role in the organization, I'm going to have a home page that looks a certain way. So I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but I do want to cover, from an overview perspective, what is in Dynamics NAV. So I'm going to go into the full department list to give you an idea of what's here. So it's everything from financial management, which is general ledger, cash management, managing your cash flow, AR, AP, fixed assets. So it's all those core financial elements, sales order processing, purchase order management. So whether you're purchasing goods or you're managing your subcontractors, you can all do it all within one integrated application, Microsoft Dynamics NAV. We've got clients, like Mark mentioned, that do some different work than just professional services for the government. We can also support those companies. So manufacturing everything from batteries to remote control cars, bomb detection systems, all sorts of things for the U.S. federal government. Where most of our clients operate is within the professional services arena. And that's where project accounting comes into play. So managing everything from your contract award through funding and task orders, managing your work breakdown structure, billing the government, both in your unique formats and government formats, all built within one application, Microsoft Dynamics NAV. And then we've got clients that resell products. So we've got some of the best product resellers really in the world that sell to the federal government are clients of ours. So we're really excited about that. And then we have aspects related to resource planning, service management. It's got an HR and payroll system. We also integrate with ADP, Paychecks, and payroll networks right out of the box. And then we've integrated with other payroll providers, as required and requested by clients. So this gives you an idea of the general capabilities of the system. And Mark, he's been working with this system actually probably back in the day there was only one module when you started working with it, I guess.
What? Financials.
and I'm not joking there. And I've been working with it for actually over, my goodness, 15 years now working with Dynamics NAV. So back in the day it was called Navision, and that's when I first met the good fortune of meeting Mark. So this is the first component of it. So it's it's a full business management solution for a government contractor. The second piece I wanted to touch on is the idea of the role center from the web. So NAV has both a full client that's available. This is for the entry and approval of time, expenses, your purchase requisition process, and also key project management reports. So it's all available via browser. And the page I'm on right now is the home page that's usually for a project manager or a supervisor to manage their projects or people. It's got the same idea as the accounting system. I've got information right at my fingertips that's important to me. So things like missing hours. So who didn't enter time from yesterday? So this is something that all services companies need to manage. The system has automated email alerts, but this gives them a high-level view of how many people didn't enter time yesterday. Funding alerts. So anytime a project hits 75% of funding consumed, you get alerted on your home page. We're going to also show you some manual configurations where you can identify an alert at a predefined percentage. It's got notifications, so that's part of the workflow engine. So there's standard workflow built into the system, but we can also leverage Microsoft SharePoint. So the system's got some good integration with SharePoint, with Excel and Outlook, and I'll touch on those in a little bit. But the idea is the standard workflows, you can actually view them right from your home page. So whether you need to approve a purchase requisition, a PTO request, or an expense report, you get notified through email and also your home page. You can launch that request and decide do you want to approve or reject, in this case, PTO from James Johnson. So it's a way that it can help to, I think, really streamline that kind of business process. The bottom left-hand side, we're showing a little utilization chart. And I know a lot of systems show utilization. Where this is different is we include both what I'd say posted and unposted data in the utilization. So like Mark, has pointed out for clients, the difference is the unposted data is time that gets entered in the timesheet but hasn't been approved. So in this case, it shows for the current timesheet period, my staff, so my subordinates, 62% utilized. So 62% of their time is on direct projects. And maybe my goal is 75 or 80 or 100. Well, I'm getting advance notice. I don't need to wait until the end of the timesheet period to know I've got a problem, I need to fix it. So it gives me advance notice to be able to take action on those type of things. I'm also able to see in real time actual hours. So not only on this portal, but also in key reports. So as a PM, if I look at all assignments, it's showing here's all the people working on my project, both their budgeted hours and how it's comparing to actual. So the system has budgeting across the system for both projects and from a financials perspective. And then really one of the big differentiators is about reporting. So there's different reports throughout the system. So there's financial reports built into the system with the financial report writer that offers the ability to configure and set up any type of financial statement, which includes drill down. The second type of report writer is reporting services, which is all part of the database platform. And what reporting services allows me to do is really provide reports out via the web, to people in the organization, typically supervisors and project managers. The idea being try to give the right people the right information at the right time and also in the right format. So those are some key things from the web portal. We're providing time entry, expense entry, requisitions, and reports, all via a browser. And I guess the last thing to mention is from a time and expense perspective, really geared towards the government contractor. So, it's got all the controls in place from a timesheet perspective. And then when you think about the expense side, it's also integrated from a per diem perspective. So then if your employees travel based on per diem, they can leverage the per diem wizard to make sure that they're charging the correct amount there. Mark, anything you want to add on that there?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. So those are the first two pieces. Then the third piece I want to talk about is we mentioned the idea of different types of reports. So there's financial reports, project reports, and there's also dashboards. I see more and more people, and I guess because we're becoming more of a visual society, that they want to see a picture of performance versus read a report or, read an email. So what we've done is leveraged analysis services, which is one of the other database components of SQL Server, to build out a standard data cube and also some standard views. So we've got financial views. We've also got project views. So I'm going to just cover one view because today's just meant as an introduction. But we do have a webinar coming up this Thursday that is part of our normal series of webinars. So every other month we have a webinar really on a topic related to the system. So this month's webinar is related to reporting. So we're going to drill deeper into reporting and cover everything from dashboards for financials, projects, and the incurred cost submission. So this is one of the ones that we often show, and it's the project spend report. The idea of the spend report is you can choose a project and task or multiple tasks that you want to analyze, and then choose a period of time. So I'm looking at June, from June through June of 2010, and what it's showing is month over month, what is the revenue for this project, all of my operating expenses, profit or loss, that's my net income line, and then what's been spent. So that's how much the funding has been consumed during that period. And you can see when I select the value and you look up in the formula bar, there's no data in there. It's just actually pointing back to that data cube, which is automatically refreshed so people get current information. What's exciting about this is it's got elements of your typical PSR, but it's kind of like a PSR using performance-enhancing drugs. Not that we support that, but the idea is I've got information related to funding, so I could see that I've got, in this case, a little over $19 million of funding left. And based on my average burn rate, the system's telling me I got 60 months of funding left if I continue at the same pace. So really trying to give project managers the tools to really run their business. And their business are the projects that they manage and analyze. So just to give you an idea, because oftentimes people will say, it's great you've got those examples. How hard is it to build something? And my comment is, it's depending on what you're trying to build. If you're building something that leverages any of the standard data elements, it's very easy. It's just drag and drop. And then if you're trying to create additions to the cube or new measures, then you need to have a little technical knowledge to do those type of things. But anyone with Microsoft Excel experience can really do quite a bit of advanced work within the data cube. So just to quickly give you an example of how it works, on the right-hand side, you can see it dynamically creates a pivot table for you, and you can see the different measures that are available. So everything from budget information through job ledger data, which is the transactional type information. So information related to AR, billings, commitments, hours, labor costs, etc. So all the different types of measures you might want to analyze are available to you. Then you can just drag the data and drop it into the analysis section. So I'm going to analyze revenue. I'll put it onto my list. And then the rows would be, how do I want to group it? So I'll go down into different areas on how I might want to group the data. So go down into our project section. I can group it by contract, by customer, by division, by PM. So I just select the measure I want to group it by, drop it in. So in this case, I'm showing all my divisions in the revenue. So let's just filter out, and we'll just show some of the divisions instead of showing all of them in this case. So we'll show our commercial division, our federal division, and also civilian. So now, and those are things that people that use Excel know how to, dynamically create these kind of filters. So now I'm showing revenue across those groups, sorted by division, and then what are the columns in this example going to be? So it could be periods of time or projects. So I'll go down into my posting periods, and whether I want to look at a calendar year or a fiscal year, you can decide whether it's a month, a year, a quarter. So we'll just grab quarter so I can fit it onto my screen easily. And now we're showing revenue across those three divisions we selected quarter over quarter. And now from here I can use some of my Excel expertise. I call myself an average user of Excel, but obviously it's been around for a long time, so I've learned a few things. But I can do things like not only color code it, but also I could put together a chart. So whether it's a pie chart or a column chart or a line chart, I can choose any of those options. And because people have used Excel before oftentimes, these are things they can pretty easily build. So now I just built a chart showing revenue across my divisions quarter over quarter. But oftentimes, revenue is not the most important lever to managing a business. It's profit. And in fact, we're going to have a whole series coming up about how to drive profit in your government contracting business. And I think there's going to be some exciting speakers for that. So let's just go ahead and let's say we want to analyze profit. I guess that's part of making sure you manage it. So we'll put profit as a value, and we'll take off revenue. And now we can see we've got a whole different picture of the business. And here's where it kind of gets exciting and different is now we can leverage the drill down within, in this case, Excel. So I can actually drill into my federal division, and we'll further analyze that division and look at it by maybe contract or by customer. Let's just choose contract, and we'll drill to federal by contract. Gives us this new picture. And then if I wanted to analyze one of the contracts, I could select that contract and drill to maybe who are the PMs that manage task orders under that contract. So here's the list of my PMs. And then if I wanted to further analyze the PM, I could just select that PM. And now here's the projects or tasks that PM manages. So it's kind of the back-end side of it. So this is the analysis of the data. In terms of how that data gets in, it happens within Dynamics NAV. And I would say the difference in terms of NAV from a data entry and capabilities perspective is The data entry, I think, is easier to use because it's got this idea of the role center, which, to go back to it, is a way that you position information and set up the forms so it's easy for people to enter data. So that's one of the things Microsoft has done, is make it easy to enter data for people. And I'll go into a project to highlight these things. So the difference is, when I'm setting up a new project, one is there is information right at my fingertips up in the menu bar. I can decide which one of the fields I want to hide and show. Makes it easy to do. I can leverage the status bar. So the status bar is like, it's almost like a report from a data entry form. So on this project, I can see the contract value, the funded value, cost that have been incurred, commitments. So these are open POs. And because it's got a line there underneath of it, I can actually drill into that commitment there by selecting it. And it takes me to, here's all the open POs against this project. So you've got that drill down across the system to help you to better manage and really more easily enter data into the system. And then two last points on NAV while we're here from a general perspective is that it's also got a place where you can manage documents across the application. So whether it's funding mods or it's the budget for that particular project, I can take any document, including an email that sits outside the system, and just drag and drop it into the document area. And then the last thing I want to touch on is, in terms of depth of functionality, what we hear from clients is the system gives them Dell-Tech-like functionality with that Microsoft look, feel, and ease of use, and integration with the Microsoft components. So everything from, we talked about managing contract and funded value, including funding mods to the contract, and managing the whole work breakdown structure with funding by Clan or Akron. So all the things that you need to manage your business with a terminology that you use every day is all built into the system. So from a general overview perspective, that gives you an idea of how we differentiate and why people are buying from us, the Microsoft Dynamics NAV solution. So it's about ease of use, integration with the Microsoft suite, so everything from the Office suite, the database components, and also SharePoint. And then it's got deep industry capabilities to really run projects the way you run your business, really providing what we call Compliance Plus. So it's a solution that meets all your compliance needs. So we've got a 100% success rate in terms of our clients going through DCA audits. And in fact, we've got 2 former auditors that are consultants on our staff who actually do projects with our clients and can help with any type of audit. Plus, it's a solution to manage your business. So whether you're doing federal and commercial work, or you really want to drive profitability in your business, it gives you the reports and it gives you the information at the right time to make the right decision. So from an overview perspective, that's what we do, and that's what Mark MLaHart here can help you with in terms of analyzing the business. The things that we've got coming up right now is, we mentioned this incurred cost submission webinar that's coming up. So let me just go ahead and pull up the current slides so everybody can see it. So I know there's several folks Mark mentioned that are on the call today that are signed up for our incurred cost webinar. So we've got actually a spreadsheet, just like the government's ICE form, that we can automate the completion of that document for you. So that's one element of reporting. But we're going to touch on other elements. So whether it's the business intelligence components, examples that we show, we'll get deeper into that. And we'll also touch on elements related to SharePoint and Excel. So how the solution leverages both the Office suite and SharePoint to best manage your business. So that's kind of the overview today. Mark, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that there.
No, I appreciate it. Great job there, Paul. I just want to thank everybody for their time here today, and here's my contact information. I certainly look forward to meeting with some of our new folks, and helping to address any questions that you may have. Feel free to send me an email, and my phone number is attached here as well. But great job, Paul, and a short period of time, and we hope everybody can obviously join us for the Thursday webinar as well.
Well, Mark, great job, and it's been a pleasure to continue working with you to spread the word about Microsoft Dynamics NAV for government contractors, and we appreciate everybody's time today. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.